Back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And my brothers and sisters, we have got to break down the State of the Union around the gun portion. We got to do it. I know you hate listening to the vegetable in chief, but we got to do it because there's some points we've got to break down because it just gets so bad. Now, of course, everything will be linked in the description box below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And with that, let's dive in to President Biden castigating the gun rights that are the bane of all existence, kind of medium, and then also barely holding a sentence. Anyway, let's get it. Let's get the first one, because you know what? It's time.
We heard their message, so everyone in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something. Well, I did do something by establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it.
All right, so a few things. The first, it's just the setup, right? So first of all, we've got to do something. We've got to do something. Now, remember a phrase that I've said multiple times for about 3 years now, at different times for little nuggets of greatness. We've got to do something, even though something will do nothing, but at least we did something. The need and propensity for the left to just do something, even though it's not going to achieve the end desires, it's just something. So you're making action just for the sake of making action. You are not making action for the determined outcome. Now, I personally find it pretty gross that politicians do this, and to be fair, both of them do it on State of the Unions, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, but utilizing people and independent stories of tragedy in the audience to leverage your further political ends and means is pretty gross. Now, that was the referencing Uvalde because they had one of the siblings up there in the audience. But anyway, the other thing that I want to address here is look at how he looks. Now, take everything else out. Take away Kamala Harris being a whack-a-mole in the back. Take away Mike Johnson rolling his eyes in the next clip, which is hilarious. He's just lost. They're trying to project him from a position of strength. They're trying to shore up the Democratic support by Biden being strong, hence the very, very powerful whispering and the very sensitive subject nature. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to shout. Stop shouting. You know, words do work the same way, regardless of volume. Just saying. But he's going down the road of, look, I did Office of Gun Violence Prevention. Well, that's kind of weird. Also, Office of Gun Violence Prevention is a revolving door now of who's who of executives from gun control organizations. You're going to hear the same talking points in 1 second. I'm going to point it out to you. But now let's get to the clip where Mike Johnson is rolling his eyes about what Biden says, because if you missed that part, that was gold. I love me some Mike Johnson.
Meanwhile, my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president. Oof. After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
It's nothing like the rantings of an old senile man, right? Mike Johnson in the background, rolling his eyes, hilarious and amazing. That's a meme waiting to happen. Kamala Harris cueing the whack-a-mole moment. But the big thing that I want to hit on here is he's going down the road of attacking Trump. It's almost like this is political posturing versus actual talking about what you're trying to achieve, right? So if we're going down this road of my predecessor said he was proud he did nothing against guns in his tenure. Well, first of all, dirty little secret is he kind of did. That's first thing. Little ATF action on bump stocks, executive bureaucratic overreach, a smidgen. Now he did some good things too. I'm not going to say he didn't. But this guy is literally trying to do a campaign speech from the State of the Union to shore up Democratic support around some of the red meat for the Democrats, like gun control. Understand what that implies. That doesn't imply a position of strength and we're going to make this happen in a further 4 years. That implies, please God, vote for me. I'm not that old. I'm just going to cough and look like a washed out old potato. Genuinely understand what this is. This is not, here's the policy going forward, here's the strength in the plan. This is, see, I can do it. Trust me. I'm just telling you. Now, let's go to the last one where We've got to take a snapshot of Chris Murphy. The media was ready, talking about all the gun violence prevention tactics that they have, which are kind of like a rinse and repeat of what they've always said. But again, let's just hit it, just for posterity's sake.
I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Pass universal background checks. None of this. I taught the Second Amendment for 12 years. None of this violates the Second Amendment or vilifies responsible gun owners.
I love the laughter of the Republicans there. But, I mean, genuinely, guys, we're going to hit what he just said, but look at his body language. Look at the posture. Look at the looks on his face. This guy is not there. Anyway, different thing. Now let's go down the road that he just said. We got to beat the NRA because I beat them before, but we've got to beat them again. Well, someone should tell Biden that the NRA is no longer the boogeyman the left has made it out to. That's kind of an old used tactic because they've been saying the NRA is no longer a threat for about 2 and 3 years as it was defeated, but yet they're still losing. How are they still losing if the NRA is dead? And why are you going to keep beating the NRA horse? Again, it's a dog whistle for the Democrats. It's not about anything beyond that. They're recycling old talking points against the NRA, the old boogeyman, when they spent 3 years saying the NRA has no significance whatsoever. Now all of a sudden it's the boogeyman again. And then he says he went down the road and he's taught the Second Amendment for 12 years. I don't really know what he means by that, but let's just say that he didn't do a good job. So just alone on the background checks, the universal background checks, that requires a national registry. Requires it. There is no physical way that you can have a universal background check from user A to user B and a background check there if you don't know both parties that have the gun, which is required of a universal background check. You have to have a registry. You have to know where every gun is so that the inventory nationally goes from user A to user B. That's the only way it's possible. A national registry is completely illegal. Completely. So it does violate the Second Amendment. It also violates federal law. Magazine bans don't work. They're dumb. It's obvious they don't work. Everyone knows that they don't work. Assault weapon bans are extremely unconstitutional, and the more that they push these things, the more SCOTUS is going to take it up. In fact, they've already got 3 or 4 cases that are pending approval and acceptance on AR bans coming from different states on the blue side. This guy is recycling red meat for the Democrats, and this is what I want to hit on final piece here. This is not a speech in a State of the Union from a position of strength. This is the State of the Union from a position of, see, I have strength. If strength was perceived and strength was obvious, the Democrats would say, look, he's pushing forward. But instead, they've got him trying to sell his own record to his own demographic base because he's so weak. He's using gun control as a raw meat thing for the left, and it's not working. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.